What is up? Here we are on Friday night with the live stream. I'm trying to get this figured out. I've got oh, there's the chat. Okay, I can see the chat now. Okay, cool. Okay, guys, so we'll give some people some time to get on here. And I know our live stream went pretty well last week that we did. We talked about our contest giveaway, which we're going to be doing another giveaway here starting on July 1st. We're going to, for 2 months, we're going to be giving away $500 in Bitcoin spread across, a lot of different levels. So first place is 200 and then 100 and then some $50 winners and some $25 winners. So real excited about that contest. I hope that's going to, continue to jumpstart the channel here. Really been appreciating all the engagement. We've been growing quite a bit over the last couple of weeks, and we hit 1,000 subscribers today. So super pumped about that. So I woke up this morning, and so every morning when I wake up, I usually check like my YouTube first because I have like a bunch of comments and stuff like that. I'll have to go sort through, and then after that, I check my Blockfolio. So I checked my YouTube subscriber count, and I was at 1,000. I was like super pumped, and then I went and checked out my Blockfolio, and it was terrible. So, and then I went back and checked my YouTube subscribers again, and somebody had dropped off, and I was back at 999. I was like, man, could it really get any worse? But, the big thing for today, obviously, is the bottoms have kind of fallen out of the markets. It's not good at all. If you guys follow Doug Polk, his Twitter, him and the guy Tone Vase, who does a podcast, they had I think it was a $10,000 bet on would Bitcoin ever drop below 6,000, and Doug Polk said it wouldn't, and we saw what happened. We also saw, Charlie Shrem, back in May say like this will be the last month ever that Bitcoin is under $10,000, and we see where that got us. Obviously, is not that good. So how are you guys feeling about the markets today? We have touched the fives. I think we bounced back up from where it was earlier. Right now, Bitcoin is at 61.79. So it's actually gone up a decent bit, considering it did touch 5,900, which was pretty much a nightmare scenario for a lot of people because, and this is one thing to really look at in crypto, which is the groupthink of cryptocurrency. I was just talking about this with Hodl Crypto. You might have seen our interview that we did with him. And, I was talking with him and he said the same thing just a couple minutes ago, which is the groupthink of where the prices are going to go in cryptocurrency are very dangerous, because it seems like whenever we pick those numbers and say, oh, well, it's going to hit the fours or it's going to hit the fives or whatever it's going to hit, it's almost like we're speaking it into existence. When people in the crypto sphere start piling on a number and say, okay, this is the number that people generally agree we're going to go to, whether it's positive or negative, it's almost like we forced it to go there because, if you say, hey, it's going to go into the fives, then you've got people that might be putting money in that are going to sit back and not put their money in until it gets to that number. So it gets a little bit dangerous. It gets a little bit dicey. And that's why I think, I wish I would stop seeing people throwing out, those super low numbers, because whenever we've had a super low number, it feels like that's where we've gotten to. So now we've touched the fives and people are talking about, oh, we might go to the threes, or we might go to 1,500, or we might go to 500, whatever it might be. And we just got to be careful not to jump on those numbers and, start pushing the price down ourselves. So, but like I said, it just was not really that great of a day. I'm going to try to do a screen share here. Okay, I'm going to see if this will work. Let's see. Nope. Entire screen. Okay. All right, so we are screen sharing. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see this, but as you guys can see on the 7-day charts over here, it was just quite a drastic drop. And as we're looking at Bitcoin down 8%, it was down over 10%. And we just look at the losers of the day. And you'll see there are so many in that 10 to 20% window. Almost everything really is 8% losers or more in the top 100. And that does not make for, good investing. Nobody wants to lose 20% in one day. Now, on the flip side of that, we like the volatility, right? So you may not like losing that much in a day, but how many days have we seen those kind of gains? Of course, not lately, a few times lately, but or at least within the last couple of months. But we like the volatility, right? We like for the price to go up. So if you look at the Bitcoin dominance, it's at 40.7%, which is not good. It's continued to drop or continue to rise. And when the market cap is dropping down to about 260 billion today, and Bitcoin dominance is now up over 40%, pushing 41%, that's not a good recipe for really where we want to be. So let's see here. Okay, so it looks like I'm still, you guys probably couldn't see that. Let's see, present to everyone. Let's see if that works. Can you guys see that? Can somebody type yes if you guys can see my screen? I think you should be able to see it. But anyways, so those are some big drops that we've had today. Biggest winners of the day, game.com. I'm not really sure why. But after that, we have Docademic. So Docademic is a crypto that John McAfee recently was shilling in a bunch of different videos. So it's up 7%. It had a big spike. That is when, as you can see on the 7-day chart, when he was talking about it. And ever since then, it's been on a slow decline, but today it had a big jump. So I was just kind of checking that out, MTC. And I was looking at the chart of it. So it just debuted in the beginning of May. People seem to like this. It's hard to tell because John McAfee says he wasn't shilling it. He said that he really was just, he really believes in it. He says he thinks it'll be $20 by the end of the year. It's at 30 cents right now. So just a little bit about Docademic. It is, it's about free healthcare basically. So the only cryptocurrency making free healthcare a reality and saving lives through use of science and technology. So you can get it on HitBTC. So it happens when I click this. Oh, and other ones. Top BTC. I didn't see that earlier. So, right now where crypto is with the markets obviously being down tremendously, it begs the question of, should we be at a place where we're trying to buy more? And if so, what are we trying to buy? And I think, obviously, when the markets are down like this, that it is a good time to buy. I'm going to stop my screen share here. Okay. So I think it is a good time to buy right now, I would say. A lot of people think it's going down lower. And, my logic is that if it keeps going lower, I'm going to keep buying at every level. I'm going to keep buying if it drops down below. I'm going to go if, let's see, let me press that. Okay. So I'm going to buy if it goes down below 6. I'm going to buy if it goes down below 5. I'm going to buy if it goes down below 4. I'm just going to buy. That's what I'm going to do. So, yes, in an ideal world, it would be best to wait until we hit the very, very bottom. But that's like saying, oh, make sure you sell at the all-time high. How are you going to know? I mean, I don't know when the low is. I don't know when the bottom is. I would have said that we bottomed back in, I guess it was March, and then of course we had another big dip after that. Now we're on another big dip, excuse me. And I think that I'm just the word is accumulate. You want to try to accumulate as much as you can. And so, yes, if I'm going to buy more ZRX right now when it's at 71 cents and then it's going to drop down to 50 cents, I wish I would have waited. But at the same time, there's a chance it could already be the bottom, and then you're going to miss out on the chance to buy it really cheap. ZRX was just at $2. It seems like a couple weeks ago, but I guess it was probably about 6 weeks ago now, or maybe even 2 months. But whenever it was there, I was thinking, man, I wish I would have bought more when I had the opportunity. And that's like the time machine, right? If you had a time machine and you could go back to last year at this exact time, what would you do? You would buy, 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 buy. Well, now it's almost like we've been given that opportunity. And I know people who are saying like, hey, I'm just ready to get out of crypto. And that's really concerning to me. You know, it's really concerning to me to hear people that I thought had strong hands might actually have weak hands. You know, they can be shaken out at a certain level. I won't be shaken out. If cryptocurrency goes down, if Bitcoin goes down to $1, I'm going to buy as much as I can. I believe in it so strongly that there's nothing that can happen to push me out of it. And that's what crypto needs. You know, we need people like that. And it's my belief that most people that are in crypto right now, and not just holding portfolios, but people who are, you know, in for the technology, or that's like a cheesy meme, right? But people who are in it because they believe in crypto, I guess is the best way to say it. And also that are involved, whether it be on Twitter or Instagram or YouTube, wherever it is, like those people are in it for more than just the money, right? If it was just for the money, then they probably would have sold out at some point. Then you have other people who bought in at the all-time high and they're holding a portfolio because it's like a good friend of mine, he put $10,000 in at the exact all-time high, like literally the day before everything crashed. And you know, his portfolio now is worth like, I don't know, $1,500 of the 10,000 they put in. It doesn't make any sense for him to pull that out. He might as well just keep it in, right? But he's not involved in crypto. He doesn't want to hear about it. He doesn't want to talk about it. He doesn't want to see it. I think that you know, you definitely have those people in crypto. But if you have a portfolio and you're involved in the crypto space, the crypto sphere, if you will, then I believe you probably do believe in the technology. You probably do believe in crypto, and that's where I'm at. There's nothing that could do to shake me from my positions and you know, basically give up on crypto. And I think that's why, you know, it seems like the new money is the money we're having the hard time coming in right now. A lot of people are just kind of trading what they have back and forth across different coins. And we're not going to see gains until we have new money coming in. Man, I'm telling you, I'm very confused because I thought that the Tether news was going to be good enough. I really did. I thought the Tether news came out of nowhere. Then we had the Ethereum is not a security news. It came out last week. So both of those coming out within 7 days from each other, I thought that would be enough. I've been on record as saying that I believe the bull run will start the day that something gets added to Coinbase. Not an announcement of, hey, we're going to add Ethereum Classic, but the day that Coinbase comes out and adds something new, I think that will mark the beginning of what the bull run will be. So hopefully it will be sooner rather than later, and it won't be, you know, it won't be something that we just keep holding out for. Another thing that concerns me about that is Coinbase is smart. So it almost makes me wonder, like, are they waiting for something to put the coins on Coinbase or whatever is going to be on there next? Are they waiting for some kind of bullish signals or some kind of bullish news in order to make sure that when they want to make a big splash? You know, they want to. Coinbase wants to make a big splash when they post something. So obviously, if they do it right now, you know, it's not going to make a big splash because everybody's like bleeding dry, right? But so I guess it brings up the question of, okay, so why have we had this dip today? Why have we had the markets to decrease by so much? It's really discouraging. And the answer, most people believe, was a CNBC story about Japan basically requiring their exchanges to give them better documentation to make sure that they're not involved in money laundering. And not necessarily money laundering themselves, but to make sure they're protecting the country, if you will, from people being able to launder money through their exchanges. And that was enough, apparently, for us to hit that. It made me feel kind of dumb because just last night I said on our video, I was talking about how it seemed like that we had some support and that we had stayed above 6,500 for several days in a row. And it looked like, you know, there was a good chance that we could move up, especially amongst all this bullish news we've been talking about. And then we dropped. So it's like most of you guys probably got up this morning and watched my video or looked at your Blockfolio and then watched my video, or vice versa, whatever it might be. And, you know, we're probably pretty bummed out because I certainly wasn't expecting this for it. And that was the news that seemed to really push the markets down. So it wasn't really good. I wasn't super happy about it, obviously. I obviously wasn't super happy about the fact that I just said I thought we weren't going to do that. And that's just kind of looking at the difference between fundamental analysis and technical analysis. You know, technical analysis, you know, they can kind of predict the future based on some numbers, some trend lines. Fundamental analysis, you know, you're really looking at stories and kind of larger trends about crypto in general to kind of say what you think. And that's what I do, fundamental analysis, like where, based on where we are today in crypto, where do I think we're going to go tomorrow? And I certainly didn't see this big of a dip coming. So, but, you know, I think that one thing is, you know, it's really hard to give any kind of encouraging words right now, right? I mean, what can we possibly say that would make people feel better? People are out there losing everything right now. I mean, we had already talked about how something like Nano was down, I think it was 92%, 93%, somewhere around there. And let's see, what is it? What's it trading at right now? Let me look real quick. Check out Nano here. But Nano right now is at $2.61. I don't know if that's the low. Yeah, well, it's about the low. If it's not, it's within a couple cents one way or the other. And Nano is at, you know, basically not an all-time low, obviously, but probably a 1-year low. And it just continues to drop. And it's like, if you're in the Nano community and you bought Nano near the all-time high, I mean, what can somebody really say to encourage you right now? You know, they just had a big wallet issue the other day. There doesn't seem to be anything that's comforting. But the only comforting thing that I can say during this time is that, you know, what I said at the beginning of the live stream, if you missed it, which is we've been given a time machine. We've been able to go back to buy things at prices that we never dreamed we would be able to buy them at. So that would be what I would be focusing on right now if I were you and I were very discouraged about my portfolio and my lack of gains. I think that, you know, really look at what you can accumulate and where can you find some gems. Is Docademic one? Is Docademic one that you might be able to look at and maybe buy at a pretty low price and be able to make a profit on? I don't know. It's up 7% today, so maybe wait for a little dip. But I think that, you know, that's what you should be looking at. And the good news is, you know, usually we're looking for gems, right? We're looking for crypto gems. We're looking for something that's undervalued, something that has a low market cap and has a good price point. But the truth is right now, after everything has a 20% loss today, you know, a lot of stuff in between 10 and 20% losses, like almost everything has a good entry point today. So that doesn't mean it's going to go up tomorrow, but I think that, you know, could be something you could look at. You could have an unusual opportunity to buy things in the top 10 or the top 20 or the top 100 for a price that you can pretty much almost guarantee, not financial advice, of course, that would go up. I mean, you know, you don't see 2 days of 20% losses in a row. The famous last words, right? I hope we don't see that. I hope that doesn't happen. But in other news, some other stuff I wanted to talk about. Let's see. Was Mt. Gox today. Mt. Gox is going to enter civil rehabilitation in a major win for creditors. So what does that mean? That means that a lot of people were concerned that Mt. Gox was going to be able to take all of the Bitcoins that they had remaining and that they were going to basically sell those off, which they have done in the past. But because of this court proceeding, now what they're going to be forced to do is they're going to be forced to take whatever Bitcoins they have, and they're supposed to pay money back to the people who own those Bitcoins. And now, you know, obviously, right now, Bitcoin is at like 6,000. Well, at the time of the Mt. Gox crash in 2014, it was at $440. So you're not going to get, like, let's say you owned 1 Bitcoin. Well, you're not going to get $6,000 for that Bitcoin. They're not going to give you an entire Bitcoin. What they're going to do is they're going to give you whatever value of that Bitcoin equals $440. So it's better than nothing. Obviously, it would be worth, what you had lost at the time, but that's going to basically allow Mt. Gox to be able to make the amount of Bitcoins that they have go further to try to pay more people back. So Mt. Gox has been just obviously a thorn in the side of cryptocurrency. I lost some Bitcoin in Mt. Gox. My brother, I think I mentioned to you guys before, he had, I think, 120 on there, which at the time was not, it was valuable. It was worth something, but obviously right now it's worth a lot more than that. So I keep telling him not to hold his breath. I don't know. I don't know if we will ever actually see Mt. Gox give this money. Maybe we will. I'm not sure though. In my mind, it seems unlikely. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that is something that they will do. It's been dragging on for 4 years now. I know court proceedings usually do take a long time, but hopefully people will get to see that money. I don't think I'll ever see mine. So I didn't have that much on there because I had actually just sold mine before Mt. Gox crashed, which was good timing. But I did have some left over. It seemed like dust at the time, but probably worth a decent amount right now. So let's see here. Okay. I'm doing Google Hangouts today instead of the regular YouTube live stream, and I'm just trying to figure out, like, can you guys chat in here? Can anybody say something? Because I don't see, nobody said anything, which is pretty unusual. So maybe this isn't the best way to do it. Maybe next time I'll go back to just doing YouTube. I was trying to do the screen share, but I don't even know if it worked because nobody said that it worked or not, or maybe you tried. I'm not sure. But the last story I wanted to talk about tonight is EOS. So EOS released this emergency measure of protection order. And basically what they're trying to say is there were 27 addresses and they're going to, let's see, they are going to stop those block producers from being able to produce the blocks, I think is the long and the short of it. The long and the short of it is there are 27 addresses that EOS has came out and said will not be able to continue on the EOS platform or not be able to continue producing blocks. So I don't know EOS that well. I'm not like super into EOS. It's just one that as it was making its rise, I was just into other stuff. But obviously it's very polarizing and people are, on it, or, you either really, really love it or you really, really hate it. So there seems to be a lot of FUD out there about EOS, and I'm not sure if this is FUD or not. But Charlie Shrem came out and said of BitInstant fame, or banking on Bitcoin fame might be what you know him from. But Charlie Shrem came out and said, this is unacceptable. You have this cryptocurrency that's supposed to be based on freedom, and yet they're freezing people's crypto. They're freezing people's EOS or their voting rights or whatever it might be. I'm not exactly sure what the deal is, but it seems centralized, right? If a crypto can freeze someone's funds, then it's centralized. That was the whole deal with Jed McCaleb and Ripple, where Ripple, when he left the company, Ripple was able to freeze his funds, I think through an exchange, but they were able to do it. And so everybody jumped and said, oh, it's centralized. What we're seeing about EOS is we're seeing those same things. And so one of my good friends that you guys might know, which is Crypto Breakfast, he's a good friend of mine. I know through crypto, and he is a huge advocate for EOS. He loves it. He talks about it all the time. It's his biggest holding, I believe. And, he's very defensive about it. I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean, he defends it. And he says that, for him, and I think this is a smart way to look at it. After he said this, like, it really made sense to me. He said he doesn't get all caught up in the day-to-day, like, this is the current FUD for EOS. Whether it's, the freezing of the accounts, or whether it was problems with the mainnet, all the bugs that were found, whatever, or all the, like 1% of the addresses holding most of the, like 90% of EOS, which has to do with exchanges, but that's another story. And he says he's not worried about all that. It's a long-term play for him. And the important thing is that EOS has a workable platform and decentralized apps are built on it. And over time, the value will be shown. And I think that's a good way to look at it. I think all this stuff we look at, is pretty trivial. I mean, it may not be trivial. I don't know. Maybe it's a really, really, really big deal. But I think that some of the things that we're looking at and even be relevant anymore. Maybe they will have got all the issues fixed, or maybe they'll just be talking about, or you know, we'll probably be talking about different issues, or maybe the success of the platform, whatever it might be. And I think when you look at it like that, and you look at like it's a long-term play, then that really helps you to kind of wade through the FUD and not have to necessarily worry about every little story about that comes out about the project that you like. So that made sense to me. So I think, you know, with EOS, we'll really just have to see what happens with it, where it goes, and whether or not it's able to become the platform that, you know, a lot of people think it's going to become. So a lot of people have soured on it. And, you know, I think, to me personally, the reason why I think that EOS gets more FUD or more pressure or more scrutiny is just because of their ICO process. I mean, you do an ICO for 1 year, you raise like $4 billion, and your investors are going to expect results pretty quick. And if there's any problems, you know, it's going to get a bigger spotlight onto it because of the way you raise the money. In my opinion, I think that's what happened with it. So that's pretty much all the news today. Like I said, I think the main issue is the markets, and nobody's really happy about crypto. So I think that hopefully tomorrow we'll have a little bit of a bounce, and we've already seen it went back up to 61.79 just a second ago. So hopefully it'll continue to grow and continue to, you know, move back upwards. I certainly don't want to dip back into the fives. The thing I've been on record as saying many times is I believe that if we did touch the fives, it would be very brief. It would touch the fives and then come back up, because it's just so hard for me to fathom Bitcoin going that low, honestly. So I hope that's what's happened. I hope that's what we saw. I hope that we will go upwards. You know, it's starting to look like a bleak summer right now. A lot of people were very bullish on the summer. And I mean, guys, it's the end of June. You know, it's the end of June and we haven't had any upward movement. So hopefully July will be a better month and we can go up from there. So thanks so much for joining me today on the live stream. I'm going to try to do probably 2 live streams a week. They would be a replacement for our daily news video. Instead, we do a live stream. So hope you guys enjoyed this. Until next time, that was your daily crypto news.